I'm Tony Pulis.
And I'm Mick McCarthy, and welcome to the Managers.
All I was crying out for is give the kid the equal opportunity. Why should a 20, 30, 50 million pound player be given more chances than the kid, who, if you cut him in half, will bleed the colour of the club? I think if I was willing to play games and be an actor, I think I'd still be in the game as a manager.
Really?
Yeah. And the art of management, which you two guys will know very well, formations don't win games. It's getting the best out of the individuals to play with what you have. And that day at Chelsea, I do not feel like they were playing with the determination and the drive what that great shirt demanded.
Right, our guest this week made his name as a tough tackling midfield player, an inspirational captain. As a player, he lifted the Premier League title in 1995 with Blackburn Rovers under the management of the legendary Kenny Dalglish. He moved into coaching following his playing career and stepped into the dugout, having spells in charge of Tottenham and Aston Villa. It's our pleasure to welcome to the Managers, Tim Sherwood. Welcome, Tim.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. When they asked me to come, they said, Tony and Mick want you to come to a podcast. I said, there is no chance them two have got a podcast. I thought you was AI, but you actually real. Unbelievable. What are you doing, guys?
We've no idea. We've got some really good people. We've got some really good people in there who just tell us what to do.
And some good managers, we're told. Just quickly, managers, how did they vary? You know, he's just put a list out of some fantastic names.
You're asking the question, so let's have a look at it. He played under Dave Bassett, Kenny Dalglish, Ray Harford, Roy Hodgson, George Graham, Kevin Keegan, Glenn Hoddle, Harry Redknapp and Peter Reid. It's no wonder you were a good player.
There's some good players there, by the way. They're like managers, aren't they? Some players.
Yeah, that's some list. Yeah,
no, they were good. Listen, everyone changed. I think everyone's got different strengths and weaknesses, and you know what it's like. You try to learn and take bits from every one of them. Obviously, Kenny's a standout because of the success we had at Blackburn. Just his man management skills were just second to none.
Was his man management better than his coaching? Because I know he was at Liverpool, and they listen about Liverpool when he played. They just had five-a-sides and all. I can't believe that's true. But was it his management that...
I think you could do that when he was at that team, that Liverpool
players,
side.
Yeah.
I mean, he just had to play, didn't they? I mean, just let them play. And you could probably coach it out of them and make detriment of the team. Yeah. But when he come to us, I think he's underestimated with the amount of coaching he did. He did a bit, it was a lot more than a bit. Yeah. But a lot of individual stuff. He'd come to you before a game, he'd say to me, for instance, I was up against Rob Lee, he'd say, he looks to take it on his outside of his foot. Do you know what I mean? When he's got
information is giving
information, small detail, which you need.
That's the analysis that we're all. Well, they all have people doing the analysis now and giving them all the information. Whereas Kenny was doing it. He'd been doing it himself. Yeah, he wouldn't have anybody with a computer that stage.
Absolutely. You know why they use the analysis? Because they don't know the game.
Right, okay.
The people who are doing the analysis.
You've heard that, by the way, on this podcast from Tim.
They don't know the game.
We probably agree with you.
Our analysis comes from our eyes. We trust our eyes before the numbers, for the data. Can you use both? Of course you can.
Yeah.
But I think we all trust our eyes.
Well, I'm sure you were the same as us. We talked about it in one of the series we did, going to games. We didn't have any computers. We went, if there was a game on a Monday, we went. If there was a reserve game Monday afternoon. Tuesday night, we'd be at a game. Wednesday, Thursday. You might be at 4 games a week.
But you also trusted other people you knew in the game, Tim. Everybody, you could go up north and there'd be a group of scouts, old football people who were now scouting. And then you go Midlands, there'd be a group there. You go down to London, there'd be a group there. And they were so wise and knowledgeable about young players coming through or players who were just outside the first team, that you would take notice of them and then go and follow it up. But, the managers we're talking about now, in respect of coaching a team, which manager would stand out for you?
Roy Hodgson. I think Roy knew exactly what he wanted and he knew how to teach it. And never wasted a day on the training pitch. Hardly ever would we play a short-sided game. And if we did, he would go in. He'd done his bit. He ain't not interested in looking at a mess around 8-a-side.
He's a proper he's a teacher then, wasn't he, on the pitch?
There's no structure to it. He
I was similar to that. But I used to have younger coaches, Tim, who would do that. I used to call them entertaining coaches. They'd entertain the players. But the structure of what I wanted, I'd always do myself, because I always thought It was my responsibility on a Saturday sending them out, that they knew exactly what I wanted. Yeah. And if the team failed, it was me and the team.
Yeah.
It wasn't. There was no excuses. But I did have coaches who would put other stuff on.
You've got to give them the entertaining bit. You have to do.
Yeah.
If you just keep coaching the players all the time, that gets a bit heavy as well.
Yeah.
They're like the five-a-sides, don't they?
Yeah.
I did. I'm sure you did.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. I think it might have been directly after Brian Kidd come in, and he'd obviously worked with the best. Sir Alex Ferguson is coming in, and he did a lot of the, like you're saying, like the short-sided games are all good fun. A lot bigger area, by the way. Yeah. I mean, working at Man United where it was nice and tight and they could do it, and he quickly found out that we needed a bigger area to operate in.
Yeah, I've done that on the morning, and I'm going to just have a quarter of a pitch, and then realise now this is not going to happen. We'd have to make it half a pitch so they could play on it.
Yeah,
yeah.
But there is coaching and management, isn't it? And I think Roy, he loved the coaching aspect of it.
Loved being out on the pitch.
Loved it. Yeah. Loved it, and he loved the structure. And like you say, he knew it was his head on the block on a Saturday or midweek, whenever you're playing a game, and no stone unturned for him. It wasn't necessarily the most sophisticated way of playing, but he certainly knew. And he would take the back four with a goalkeeper. Then the next day, everything was dedicated towards the midfield, and then the wide players and the strikers, and then. Later on in the week, possibly the Thursday, he would marry them all together so everyone knew the jobs, and we all knew their jobs.
Brilliant. Yeah,
we all knew their jobs as well, so he was, without doubt, I learned a lot. I was latter stages of my career. I wasn't thinking about a coaching career. I was thinking, if I do go into coaching, that is the sort of structure what I need.
Yeah. I was going to ask you that about, with the influence that you've had with so many great managers and great players, what did you take on yourself when you had the opportunity?
I think the man management thing is the Kenny thing, and not only on the pitch but off the pitch. Knowing the ones who need a cuddle and the ones who need a kick up the arse, and I think he was fantastic at that. He'd obviously played with some world class players. I mean, I remember Kenny used to shout at me on the pitch, and sometimes I'd give him a rubber ear, and he would just continually shout and shout. And
what do you mean? Sorry, Tim. Is this one when the coach, and of course. You're right in front of you, and you're shouting at you, and you're giving the rubber ear.
Yeah.
And that you're right at the other side of the pitch, and you hit a good ball, and the coach goes, "Great pass, Tim." You go, "Thanks, Gaffer." You can hear everything when that comes out. I had loads of them. Rubber ear me, and then go, "Thanks, Gaffer."
But he used to hit you back. He's a double whammy, because he used to ignore him, but he'd continually shout at you. And he'd go, "Tim, Tim." And then finally you look across to him, and I'd rather him just get into me and hammer me, and he would give me that one. I mean, as if to say, why can you not do that?
Tim, was it his personality as well?
Yeah.
Being who he was?
Yeah. I knew him. He had the respect.
Yeah.
Straight away he had the respect. And, it was there's a real sliding doors moment for me to actually join the club, because when I got the call from Kenny Dalglish, I was on the way back on the train from seeing Arthur Cox at Derby, and I shook Arthur's hand and said I would join Derby County.
Just as well you didn't sign it. I mean, shaking his hand is one thing, but signing the contract's another.
On the way back, I get the call from Kenny, I'm at Blackburn, would you like to come up? Both in the Championship at the time. My decision was obviously I want to go there, but, I've just given a man...
Yeah.
his word and shook his hand and said that I'll come to Derby County, which would be. Well, what happened? Well, I didn't need to ring Arthur. Arthur rung me about 15 minutes later.
So you know him, a great guy, Arthur.
Great guy, top man.
Yeah.
I owe a Premier League winners medal to Arthur Cox, because he could have gone the other way. And I said to him, he said, "You've had the big man on the phone." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Kenny's rung me." He said, "If you was my son," he said, "I'll be telling you to go to Blackburn."
Wow,
he said, "They look like they're going places." And not that we're not, but he's obviously...
That's very magnanimous of him.
Yeah.
We say he's a great guy.
Unless he saw some more footage of me and decided against
I doubt that.
So from sliding scales with the managers you work with, what were they like? How would you sort of like put them in respect of what they did and what they didn't do?
What was your first one? Was it Harry? Was it Dave Bassett?
Well, he's the first one to give me my chance, but I obviously worked under Graham Taylor as an apprentice at Watford. I used to clean Graham's boots. I remember one day I must have cleaned them 4 times. And it was like, it probably might get called bullying now, but we called it character building. When
Sam won with you, was he? Sam Ellis?
Yeah.
Was Sam there as well? Was he a good friend, Sam?
They're good lads. I mean, Graham was brilliant for me, and Tom Wally was the coach. At the time.
By the way, Tom Wally and Sam Ellis, he couldn't have had two more terrifying people.
And Ernie come for a while as well.
Oh my God. He was my youth coach at Millwall.
Fantastic.
Tom Wally.
I loved him. Without Tom, I wouldn't have been a footballer. When I was doing the coaching at Tottenham, I always used, obviously you can't coach like Tom used to coach or talk to people like that. But like I say, I found it character building, and some crumbled and some didn't. And I think that was...
They tested you.
To identify whether you got the minerals to be able to do it. You know, it's not easy.
No.
You know, and it's certainly not easy now, but I think sometimes they're getting their arse wiped.
So what did they do? I know we've passed that stage now, but what were their principles? What was Tom's principles?
It was just about toughness, you know, and mental toughness. I remember going over and training with Graham Taylor. And if they would ask for someone to come over, as soon as I leave the youth team to come over, Tom would say, "Hey, come here." I go over and he gives it. When you come away from there, make sure they know your name.
Yeah.
He said, have a personality. Yeah. And that's exactly what I did. I remember Brian Talbot, who was playing at Watford at the time, during one of the 8-a-sides we were playing, he picked up the ball and he said, said to Graham Taylor, will you stop him kicking me? And Graham Taylor said to him, I'll never forget it. He said, what number do you wear on a Saturday? He said, number 4. He said, perhaps that's a number what Tim wants to wear on Saturday.
Did he honestly?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I thought he was going to say, why don't you stop him kicking you?
Oh, well, that was coming. I mean, he weren't no shrieking violent.
No.
Brian, I mean, I was prepared to take it.
What was Graham like?
It's very straightforward. I mean, you knew where you stood, and that's all I want.
Yeah.
You know, from manager. And when I was a manager, I was always very honest, too honest.
He was known for being a good coach, though, at the time.
Yeah.
However he played.
He had Steve Harrison there, John Ward, you know.
Harry was a brilliant
people.
coach.
Yeah.
I had Harry at Millwall. He was a fabulous coach.
Yeah. But without getting the opportunity to play, Dave Bassett takes over.
Yeah.
Took a shine to me, you know, was changing a lot of things that was happening, because obviously he's taken over from a legend in Graham Taylor at Watford.
How did he change it, Tim?
I think this playing style was quite similar, but he tried to change the personnel within it, and he had some big characters there, you know, the Lufas of this world, you know, and obviously Barnsley had left to go to Liverpool. So it was a transition period, and you know what it's like taking over from you rather take over from someone who the fans don't like, rather than someone who they love. But I remember him giving my opportunity to play. My debut was 1987 against Sheffield Wednesday, and my full debut was a week after against Everton at Goodison Park. And they won the league. I mean, we're talking about the champions. I remember coming off, I'm not sure what the score was, but I remember coming off saying, I'm nowhere near this level. I hope it ain't as difficult as that every week. And fortunately enough, it weren't, because they were so good. But it's a sliding doors marriage. He gave me the opportunity, and without him giving me the chance, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the way I feel about every young player coming through.
Yeah.
Then you had an opportunity, especially at Watford. That was a club what brought through young players. Now, they might as well not have an academy. A lot of the clubs where you see now around
well, even
England.
the top clubs are selling their best players.
Yeah, but that's ridiculous. That's because of the financial fair play, and that's absolute nonsense. But at least try and produce them. Yeah. So when I went into Tottenham and with Harry, and I took a shine to that development side. I knew what it was like to be developed and then average and then a little bit better. But they had to give me the opportunity because there was no one else. Now the influx of the foreign players, it's very difficult for them kids to get a chance. But all I was crying out for is give the kid the equal opportunity. Why should the 20, 30, 50 million pound player be given more chances than the kid, who, if you cut him in half, will bleed the colour of the club? The managers are coming in and they're playing for the owners who are saying, I'll buy you the 20 million pound player who's played 40 times for Norway or Iceland. But
it's the foreign managers as well. They've got an idea who the foreign players are and who they fancy as well.
But when you've got someone like me who's working with the academy giving it, why are you buying him for? He's bang average. Or this kid probably 2 months away from being him. Save your money. He will care more in the long run. They don't want to hear that, managers. Of course they don't.
Yeah.
Because they've all they want to hear is, no, I want my boy. And that's what they do. So what these academies are doing, the reason they're not producing these players, they're blocking up the pathways of the younger kids with bang average players. And the majority of the time, they're foreign players.
Yeah.
Who can't get used to the Premier League. Yeah. All right, the kid has to get used to it. Mark Noble is a great example for me. I spoke to a West Ham fan the other day, and he said, the West Ham academy boys are not good enough. How do you know they're not good enough? Until they get an opportunity. When Mark Noble first went into West Ham, into the first team, was he a superstar? I'll tell you now he wasn't a superstar.
No. Yeah.
But he's played 500 and odd games, so he's a superstar now. And if you want a statue outside of their ground, it'd be because Mark Noble out there. You know, I look, top 3, if you speak to football fans around the world, the top 3 players at any club, one of the top 3 will be an academy player.
Yeah.
You look at Gerrard. I mean, he won Scholesy at Man United, John Terry, Tony Adams, Glenn Hoddle. Pick Ledley King, Harry Kane. I mean, seriously, I'm a firm believer that if you haven't got no one with a heartbeat of the club in your side, I think there's something going wrong.
The Managers with Mick and Tony is powered by BOYLE Sports, the home of the early payout. And why is BOYLE Sports the home of the early payout? I hear you ask. Well, with BOYLE Sports, if your team goes 2 goals up, you win. Job done, you're getting paid out. Singles, ACCAs, bet builders, it's all covered. And this also means that we need to reconsider some crucial games across your careers, Mick and Tony. In fact, I'm going to take you back to the Britannia Stadium, Halloween 2009, the first time Mick McCarthy meets Tony Pulis in the Premier League. Stoke go 2-0 up. But Mick, your Wolves team come back, draw 2-2. And I'm sorry, Mick, I'm taking the point off you. Because of BOYLE Sports' new laws, I'm afraid Stoke won that game. Congratulations, Tony.
Thank you.
There you go. So get paid out as a winner if your team goes 2 goals ahead, even if they go on to win, lose or draw. 90 minutes only, applies to singles and multiples. 18 plus, T's and C's apply. Back yourself with BOYLE Sports, the home of the early payout. Head to boylesports.com or download the app to find out more.
So at Watford, what influence did Elton have?
He was a big influence. Obviously, it was a tight-knit group. Him and Graham Taylor had a wonderful relationship. He was chairman, obviously, at the time. Yeah. I remember once we went away to China at the end of the season. I loved it. I was 17 years of age. But I can see the experienced pros. Just had a long season. Now we got to go to China for I think we went for 10 days or something like that. We had a couple of games over there. And I remember one day we had a match, but it just had a little downpour, and I think the end of June or something like that. So, and the pitch was a bit slippy, and Elton decided he wanted to join in one of the games. So I remember the lads giving it to me, get the young kid, the naive kid, get into him and all that. So, I remember him taking the ball. Good touch, actually. He just opened himself up, and I've
smashed him.
It's just, I've slipped as I'm coming into him because of the downpour.
That's what you told him.
And
I slipped. Sorry,
I couldn't tell him anything. He was rolling around on the floor. I thought I broke his leg or something. I remember Eddie Plumley, who was the chief exec at the time, coming in, and he was always so smart. I could see him marching across the pitch with his suit on, giving it, "What have you done?" Looking at me, and I'm I'm white. I've gone. I'm can't believe it. Anyway, it was all right. He was fine in the end, and I think it was that night or a couple of nights he used to get on the piano in the hotel and got all of his tunes and putting our names in the lyrics and stuff like that. It was just wonderful.
How would you compare him to Jack Walker?
Jack was a better player. Mate, very, very, very. Listen,
don't tell me he's a better singer.
Jack was a one-off. Jack was a one-off, and you'll never get a Jack Walker again. Someone who piled his money into a football club, which is his hometown club, just for one reason, because he wanted them to be successful. He was no interest. With the year after we won the Premier League, how can you have the same shirts? I mean, commercially, it doesn't make any sense. So any businessman now, and most of them are run by businessmen, but he just wanted to give it to the public. Why should we charge people? We're going to keep the same shirts. You know that? So they can wear them for another year or so and just celebrate the fact that we won the Premier League. He took us from the Championship to finish 4th, to finish 2nd, to win the league. It's just a remarkable guy and just a human being. Like he come into the dressing room. You hear about these chief execs and owners coming into the dressing room now. He only come in to have the banter with the boys and play penny up the wall and and have a chat with us and wish us well. He never ever once talked about football to us or to Kenny or any of the coaching staff. Just let them get on with it.
Right, Tim, it's 94-95 season when Blackburn and Manchester United lock horns in a legendary title race. I mean, how competitive was it? We know how competitive it was. We've been there. Did you feel hatred for United? Me and Tony talk about this. If I'm in a league, I hate them all, no matter who it is. And there's competitiveness. It's how you could have taken over Manchester United, I guess, as a team, because they were the top team at the time, weren't they?
Yeah, juggernaut, and obviously they dominated the start of the Premier League in '92. They won for 2 seasons. We finished 4th in our first season. Then we finished 2nd. And I think after we finished 2nd, if you would have said to everyone in the dressing room, can you win it the following year, 94, 95? I think everyone would have said, yes, we're ready to do it.
Who were the signings that Kenny made then? I know that you were in there with Kevin Morgan was there for a while when he was the captain. You took over after him. Then. Great lad, Kev. I played with him. Yeah. But who were the signings? What was the team? Go on, tell us the team.
Well, we had Tim Flowers.
Because I remember it being a good.
You can't win
team.
anything without a good goalkeeper.
No,
we certainly had that. Tim Flowers, character as well, but
Brilliant.
A wonderful shot stopper and a good player. Right back used to change. Used to be Henningberg possibly or Ian Pearce, Colin Hendry, like the leaders around the whole team. I would suggest, and Tony Gow come in for the last 15 to 20 games. Graham Lasso at left back, midfield, me and Batty and Mark Atkins. Not a lot of people know Mark Atkins, but I always say one of the best players I've ever played with. Yeah. Someone who understood the game, and his finishing was wonderful. It was a great appreciation of others around him. We obviously had the 2 wide boys who covered so many miles. If they were a car, you wouldn't want it a second hand. They just run so much, Ripley and Wilcox. Now, obviously, Jason's at Man United, sporting director now. And then up front, we had Shearer and Chris Sutton and Mike Newell to come in, Kevin Gallagher. Jeff Kenner was a right back as well who played his part. So we got a little bit lucky.
Proper team. No,
we got lucky. We got a little bit lucky with injuries as well. We kept ourselves pretty.
You've got to do that, haven't you? To win, you've got to be lucky with things. You've got to keep your best players fit because that's what everybody complains about.
The balance looks fantastic, doesn't it? It looks as though it's a great balance.
4-4-2.
Yeah. Yeah, but 4-4-1-1.
Yeah,
he would play.
But I know.
But that one, obviously Chris or drop in when they know he need to be picking up, but they'd be told. It's only Kenny to tell them. If we were getting overrunning, I would say drop off, or I'd say to Wilcox or Ripley, tuck in one. It's. I see that as straightforward. I don't think you need a degree in football to understand that. I mean, it's 4-4-2 is coming back, by the way.
Oh, it is, yeah.
100% it will come back. I look at Tottenham's makeup, what the players they've got. Like Solanke and Richarlison, they are tailor-made to play 4-4-2. They've got wide players who can play inside the pitch as well.
Yeah.
They've got fullbacks who can bomb on. They've got 2 centre-halves who are really solid in front. They've got midfield legs in there. I think if anyone was going to play 4-4-2, I think they could possibly do it. Because no one closes down more than Dominic Solanke.
Yeah.
He knows if they're using, if it's not a 2, it's a 1-1. Dominic at the deeper one, who can also get into the box,
and he can play as
well. He'll get around there 6 all day long, So I think it's coming back. We're going full circle. We've got the long throws now. We've got the set pieces.
We talked about that. Yeah. It would be great to see it, but I mean, there were proper wingers, weren't there? Wingers now tend to come and play on the inside. I know fullbacks they go on the overlap, but you'd have a winger right on the. Get Reece to shout at him. Get some lime on your boots. Get some light. Stay where they are. Give him the ball. Go and attack the fullback.
Mick, in that team, I could hit them balls with my eyes closed. I know that Wilcox is out there. I know Ripley's over there. You just get him the ball. Shearer and Sutton just
murdered it.
I mean, just get the ball. I mean, before we left the dressing room, every single week, Shearer would shout to the top of his voice, "Just get it in."
Yeah.
And basically, that's all we did.
How good was he, Tim?
Just never wasted any. I used to say to Harry Kane when he was coming through, he used to ask me, he used to say, what was he like? And I'd say, he's got similar characteristics to you because you never want to waste a day on the training pitch, and he would never do that. But he would just go and find the ball. It's just ruthless, ruthless. I'd never see him ever get bullied by a centre half. It was more the other way around.
He was as tough as old boots, wasn't he? Yeah. He could handle himself.
And Chris was a good player.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a scruffy finisher, but he scored goals, and he wasn't, we could play any way anyone wanted to play against us. Want a football match, we'd have it. If you wanted a fight, we'd have that. So we had the characters. I mean, throughout the team, like we were
Tim, winners.
You said it. You said it partnerships as well, don't you?
Yeah.
If the two centre halves, a good two centre halves, and they're a good partnership. If your wingers and your fullbacks are good partners, your two central midfield players, you have a good balance there. One might be running on, the other one's going to sit. All of those relationships they have on the pitch. 4-4-2. That's what I was brought up on.
Yeah.
And when it works well.
Was it coached? Or did they just let you get on with it?
I know, coached, yeah.
Coached.
I mean, I coached because I think you need to just always.
Was that Ray or Kenny?
Ray was good. I mean, he kept it nice and simple, but there was certain tweaks now and again depending on who you're playing.
Yeah.
But certainly Jason Wilcox was such an underrated player, and he would play central midfield a lot of the time. Say if Stuart was on what Stuart was like.
Yeah.
He'd go down the touchline and he'd keep going, and he would get the ball into the box, down the outside, crossing from that position where centre halves don't want to head it. When it's behind, you can't see the player, you can't see the ball. Not in his deep stuff, chopping back on his left foot and wiggling it in there. It's easier for you to head. But we had two guys in there. One of our midfield players would get in, and Jason would know when to thicken up. And all this mid-inverted fullbacks now, we did that years ago. Like from the fact that's you move with the rhythm of the ball, you come up the field.
But they weren't inverted then; they just went inside.
They just went inside.
They just went inside and played. They weren't inverted.
Went inside, and then there's just more communication. Andrew I used to say to Colin, like, just push him into me, I'll win it from the front. And
how did Kenny manage you all? There's some characters in that. Did he give you a bit of freedom? Were you?
I think he had no choice really, but obviously I just feel he was such a he knew. He knew.
Off the pitch, I'm on about not so much on the pitch. You let you play. You've got good players. You let them go, but off the pitch.
I genuinely think that's why he gave me the armband. I don't think I was trained really hard, but I like to play hard.
Yeah.
And I feel like he thought, I've got to give him this armband because hopefully you get a little bit more responsibility and to realise that I'm actually here to play football.
He's managing you though.
100%.
Because that's what you do. If you recognise that, whatever he thinks about you, if you're not the captain, what he doesn't want you to be, because you heard a big character, he don't want you to be anti-him or anti-things that you're doing or against, in any shape or form, against what he wants you fully on blob, because you have a responsibility, but other players will be listening to you. He needs you to manage them. He gives you that levity, like, right, you manage the players.
So when you were captain, did you have a special relationship with him? Would you go in and see him? Would he come and pull you at times and discuss certain things?
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah, a lot of the time. I mean, when I probably putting the armband on me made me go out 3 times a week rather than 5.
See the influence you can have?
I tell you what, you're a disgrace. You're a disgrace if you let the others go out 5 times and you weren't there. That's completely
out of
wrong.
order.
I know. Isn't it funny though, when you are in a winning team, when you've got a group of lads like that, they are going out. They aren't having a jolly up, but they all come back in and train. And
that's what it was like.
You're back in. Like I know. I doubt. Well, you weren't susceptible to the mobile phones, were you? You could go out and have a beer. You could go out and enjoy it. You could go out and be yourselves without anybody taking a picture of you. Yeah. If they took a picture of you, they'd be to boots on the morning after, and they'd have to wait 3 or 4 days to get
old news then.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gone.
But people were fit then as well, Tim. I don't think we had as many injuries then as what they get now.
I've got a theory on that.
Go on.
They're undertrained rather than overtrained. Not too many games. Just don't train. Don't know what it's like to train tired.
Interesting. Yeah.
They don't know what it's like. So when there's a crowd there's a full stadium and they have to, you have to put your body on the line, Mick, at Anfield, you're going that extra mile because the adrenaline's flying, but they're not ready to do it because as soon as they hit the red zone in training, or whatever that is,
they're pulled.
Come off it. I remember once, and it was a game. So it was at Stoke actually, and Shawcross got sent off.
Yeah.
It's a raucous atmosphere there, you know better than anyone. We're 1-0 up, and I've made all my subs, and I'm standing in the technical area, and we have got 5,000 travelling fans. And someone comes and stands next to me and says, you might need to keep your eye on X player. So I said, why? He said, because he's in the red zone. I said, I have made all of my subs. Are you suggesting, and the game's going on, but I'm having this stupid conversation with some individual saying, are you suggesting that I should bring off a player? So we play with 10 men for the last 5 minutes plus injury time. We're 1-0 up. Well, you don't want to lose him for 3 or 4 weeks. It'd be stupid to do that. Go and sit down and never speak to me again was my instruction.
Well, I have to say, if you said that to him, I think you handled that very well and far more politely than himself and I would have done. Because there would have been a few F-bombs in that one.
There's so many people who just do not understand the environment, what we're in. They're not football people. There's so many non-football people involved in football clubs.
When you won it, though, Man United, come on, how was that? You know, when you
it's just amazing. I mean, it's just we obviously had a big lead. We were a bit like Ryder Cup European sides, you know, and kept looking over our shoulder on the last day and thinking someone might come and snatch this off us. But
what was the relationship between Fergie and Kenny?
Oh, Fergie was a master of the mind games, but there's one person you couldn't try their mind games with because he's got better mind games than you have, and that was Kenny. You know, and we looked. None of us had ever won before. So we looked to him for guidance, and looking how calm he was in the press conferences. But you know, yourself as a manager, there's a lot of people.
I sort of remember that day when you're at it. You know, and you've got to just match the Man United result.
Yeah.
Go on, talk us through it, because
I know it was nerve-wracking. I mean, we obviously got a fantastic. Like, I'm sweating now just in case we didn't actually win it.
It was nerve-wracking for me because I wanted you to win it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing, and obviously West Ham did us a favour in the end.
Yeah.
But I think it was the first ever split screens on the TV, so you could. Well, obviously I weren't watching, but I was, when we went ahead, Shearer sent us ahead, and we had another great chance to go 2-0 up, and I think that would have been it. And Barnsley scored to put them 1-1, and then I think it was 92nd minute. Jamie Redknapp bent a free kick into the top corner, and then but we knew it was over by then. We had to win, you know, and I think we were shot, and we were just had our ears on the crowd and looking across to the bench to see what had happened at Upton Park, and they did us.
There must have been some celebrations or beating.
That was great. Yeah, went on forever. Yeah, good job, no phones around, as you said.
Still going on, isn't it?
What was Kenny like after the game? Relieved?
He was relieved. I relieved like everyone, but I just feel like he was done it before, hadn't he? You know, I don't think he was as excited as all of us. I think it was probably one of his.
I bet he was knackered. We talked about it. Relieved, knackered. When you see a manager, and we've talked about them, you know, when they start to get under pressure, losing games, and you're going home, you take it all home. If you've got kids, the kids, they feel it. Your wife feels it. Everybody around you.
It empties you, Tim.
And if you get through to the end of the season, you're knackered. But you can be there halfway through the season. And there's sometimes when you go out, maybe you go on TV and you talk, you might have lost 3 on the bounce, you need a result. It really takes it out of you.
I always think, I don't know what you guys think, but I always think if you didn't look at the results one weekend, you can line the 20 managers up and you can look and say, you had a draw, you had a win, you had a loss. It shatters you, doesn't it, for the week? Yeah. Looking at how many games you guys have managed, and the likes of Moyes, you still at it, and Harry, mate, you need a medal. Just being able to do that for that length of time, I just think you're just crazy.
There's definitely a bit of craziness going on,
Well, especially with him.
Well, we're like all we're addicted. We're addicted to football.
Yeah.
And that's basically it.
Right, Tim. We'll fast forward to December 2013. You're named as Tottenham interim boss, following 5 years there as a coach. At that point, I'm sure you had your designs on becoming a first-team manager. Do you think at Spurs or somewhere else? But it must have been your ambition to be a manager, was it?
No.
Really. Wow, that's good. Just let me get the custard out of my face.
No, seriously.
Really?
No interest.
No
interest. No interest in going to coaching. Harry invited me back there when he was there, and then as soon as I went in there, I was there for a few weeks and just got the bug to want to do it.
Oh, but prior to going back in, you'd not have given it any thought at all?
Never. I thought, why would I do that? I see how how old you all look. I thought, nah.
He has got a full mop of hair as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I've got a point.
This ain't real. So I just had... I had no interest, but I got a bug for it. I really did, and I loved the development side, developing the younger players. Because I felt they were a wee bit neglected, and I just felt like there wasn't enough love there, and I was prepared to give them that.
I suppose they were a team that when you went into Spurs, they were buying players, weren't they? Mm. And you're quite right, probably the academy lads.
Well, Ledley King was the last player to come through the academy.
Was he? Wow. I'm amazed that you just stunned me there. You didn't no designs on your back.
No design.
So how did you go back?
So Harry really just invited me in.
He talked you into it.
Yeah, he invited me in just so because he knew I was local to Tottenham. He would come in and have a look.
It wasn't as your personality because you were the captain.
No, because I played for Harry, didn't I? So he knew that I was like, and he knew that I could add something to him. And I was always very honest. I mean, we used to have some rows, me and Harry, but good rows, whereas sometimes you're a manager, you don't want to hear the truth, do you, sometimes? And listen, there were so many times
when
I
need somebody to tell you the truth.
So I used to sit upstairs, I used to watch the first team, I used to come down at half-time. Before the game, we'd obviously have a chat. He'd had Joe Jordan there. He had
Kempy.
Bondi was there.
Clive, Bondi. Good people, good football people. And he liked that. He liked people around him. But I added something different to him. Les come in with us as well, Les Ferdinand.
And Jim was there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Jim Smith
at Portsmouth,
Well,
great lad.
You had a management team bigger than the team that was on the pitch. You
we didn't have Jim at Tottenham, but when I remember one call, I think it was we going to the Champions League. I think Gomez had got sent off. We were 3-0 down at AC Milan, San Siro. And we still had a chance to finish in fourth. So I remember coming down and I saw Harry, he was like walking in, like went to a little office just off the dressing room at half time, and he said, "What do you think?" I said, "Take Gareth off." I said, "We still got a chance. We don't want to lose him." I said, if we lose Gareth, I said, we've got no chance finishing fourth. You mad? We'll take him, he's our best player. I said, yeah, but we got no goalie. I said, we're down to 10 men. I said, we ain't. Anyway, I think we lost 3-2 in the end. Gareth ripped up Macon, was it? Or the right back. Absolutely destroyed him. We come back with a moral victory. We beat him in the leg at home.
What did he say to you after that?
No, but you know what? I learned from that. You go, mate, he knows when to roll the dice, by the way. Because I was risk taker. I thought, in life, and I just felt like I've got to be a little more pragmatic here. It looks like we don't want to go on the end of a 6-0 or Gareth was to get injured, then our season's absolutely gone to pot.
Yeah,
but he knew instinct, because of the experience and the games, he knew when to make that call.
You also know the reaction, what would have been if you'd have took him off and you'd have lost 4 or 5-0.
Yeah.
The reactions of the fans and everybody else would have been
But
horrendous.
the respect Harry would have given you for saying that.
Yeah. No,
I
laugh about it now. I mean, it's like one of those.
He'll question it, but it'll stick in his mind.
And by the way, it was when you're telling us.
Oh no, it sticks in his mind. I've heard him tell it.
Oh no, I know him really well, Tim, and I know what he's like. You can say things to him, and he'll argue, and then 10 minutes later he'll go, "Yeah, you're right."
That would have been a common sense approach, though. So, you've already said we've lost the game.
Yeah,
I know people go, "No, you can't ever say that." And then we get back to 3-2.
Yeah,
that proves the point. But you're thinking about further down the line where you want him to be fit and make sure that he finishes.
Mick, now I've sat on the other side. I've been there as a coach. If someone said that to me, I'd say exactly the same as what Harry's telling me.
Of course. You don't give the game up at half time, whatever's happening. Anyway, you take over a squad built by, when you get the job, Andre Villas-Boas, eventually sign an 18-month deal. Could you sense mentality issues with the squad? Was there something wrong with the squad?
I don't think mentality issues. Obviously, Adebayor was training with me, with the kids.
Why was that? Had he been bombed out?
I think it was a personality clash. I'm not too sure what had gone on, but he wasn't allowed to train with the first team.
Was he a strong character?
Yeah, it's a strong character, but a good man. And do you know what? I just felt it was a common sense move for me to bring him back in because he was our best option. I mean, Soldado, I loved him. Tried hardest, but he wasn't scoring any goals.
You've not fallen out with him either. That's the thing is if he's had a falling out with Andre Villas-Boas, you've been coaching him and letting him train with your squad.
Yeah.
you probably formed a relationship there, but it's not your fight.
No.
When you get the job, everybody who's had a problem with the manager before, it's right, lads, we're starting again. Come on, you've got something to offer. Let's get on with it.
And he had a point to prove, obviously, because he'd been left out. And from a club's point of view, I felt he was the highest paid player. All right, Man City would have been subsidising a lot of that money.
Yeah.
But he's the highest paid player for a reason.
Yeah.
Because he's the best player. And I knew he was, and you played against him, guys. He's unplayable on his day. We just got to get more days, So I just give him love, give him a cuddle, told him how good he was, and I believed it. And I told him how good he was in front of the others as well.
You're back to answering the question that we asked earlier on: how you get that player who has been, he hadn't upset you or upset the apple cart with his teammates, but he'd been bombed. All those things you're saying.
Yeah, you have to find
give him a cuddle, talk to him, encourage him.
But you have to find that balance between, I didn't want to treat him differently to the others in front of them.
Yeah.
But, give him a little, see him in a canteen.
Yeah,
a little, Addy, you're the top man. And he was. And he was unplayable. And in front of the group, you say, we play everything to him now. Because I always judge a game, and if your centre forward's getting more touches than their centre forward, you're doing something right. So I used to play to him, and to get bodies around him, get the ball wide. And
you're a dinosaur, mate. The goalkeeper's having more touches than centre
He scored so many goals for me. He kept me in it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it was, and
he was unplayable.
The first game was away at Southampton, and he scored an unbelievable worldie. Yeah, I don't know if I told you the story before, but that first game, you boys can't even remember your first game probably, but I remember it as if it was yesterday. And I was on the bus, and I get a phone call, just a buzzing on my phone. So I look at it, it's my missus. She sent me a message saying, "Do you want me to save you some dinner?" I mean, it's my first game of a manager ever. I mean,
and then she said, "Don't tell me you're playing Adebayor as well, by the
way."
Yeah. You had Harry coming through, didn't you? Was he coming through at the same time, or just behind him? Or
He was coming through. We took him back from his loans. He'd had all that experience, and it was about. I said to Harry, "No more loans." As a development player, as a development coach, I said to him, "No more loans."
I watched him play. Was it Leicester on loan?
Yeah.
He played that night. He was almost playing out wide right, and then he played up front and scored, and he
played for Nigel there, didn't he? Yeah. So, and I remember once seeing a picture of Harry, and Vardy was sitting next to him on the bench, and Drinkwater, was it?
Oh, yeah,
maybe,
probably,
them three sitting next to each other. So, look, and Harry would say that himself, every experience was a good experience. It was a development curve for him.
Yeah. Did he go to Leyton Orient?
He went Orient, yeah.
I'm really impressed with your memory. All the guys that come on, you just fluently talk them off. So to be stumped with one of the questions, I apologise. It's unbelievable. All the players that you come across, the managers and all that.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. You remember them.
But Nigel was. I think every move he did. Even though Millwall was fantastic.
What teams did he have then?
He went to Leyton Orient, then he went to Millwall.
Yeah.
He went to Norwich and Leicester.
Leicester.
Not one manager he had said he would play in the Premier League.
I can't remember. It might have been Russell Slade. Someone came up and trained at our training ground, and Harry had broken into the Tottenham team and was scoring goals. And I can remember saying, he was on loan with you. He said, yeah. And I said, what was he like? He said, Tony, he was so average. He couldn't run. He wasn't quick. He wasn't strong in the air. He was getting bashed off the ball. He says, I'm just absolutely amazed what he's doing.
Mm.
Yeah, you've seen something in him and
was
believed
it a game
in him.
on television? He played against Aston Villa and he scored a couple of goals.
For Tottenham?
Yeah. And the fans were all,
Yeah. Well, the Tottenham fans, to be fair, if he hadn't scored, I mean, he did well because he went in and he scored, 3-3. So, hit the floor running. But it's a tough environment. And if he were not playing well, he's got Soldado, who he spent a lot of money for sitting on the bench. I used to sing Soldado's name to come on. So he puts him under pressure, but I knew he was never going to be faced. You don't worry about that. His biggest attribute is between his ears. His drive, determination. I always say to all them young boys, if you've got the drive and determination, without the ability, right? So the ability's here, then you've got a chance you'll be a player. You'll be a Premier League player if you can marry them both up, and that's exactly what Harry did. But if you've got all the ability and no drive, Tim, you ain't getting.
He also had a manager who believed in him.
Mm. Well, he gets a little bit of love. I was fighting for him, And like I would fight for any of them boys. I just felt like I believed in him. Not because I was biased towards the younger players, because I believed in what he possessed could be good enough to play for the Premier League.
Were they going to sell him at any stage? There were talks of it, weren't there?
Yeah, but I always... He was never going to go why I was there, because I just wanted to play him.
Well, whatever he's done, he's turned out to be unbelievable, hasn't he? Very special players.
No, you couldn't have even dreamt the fact.
I bet. Could you have dreamt that, though, to see what he's done now?
I think it's difficult to imagine.
I know, it's probably a difficult question.
Because he's the greatest.
But some of the kids, you look at them and you go, wow, he could be just anything he wants to be. And
he wasn't exactly Lionel Messi who fell off the tree. He was someone who had to work on it, but he's prepared to. He certainly had the ability, of course he did, but he had to put it all together, and he had to keep working every day in training and want to improve. And he's still like that now. He will not feel like he's at his ceiling.
Wow.
He will still train like he can improve. That's the mentality you need.
Well, the stat that he came out was he got to 100 goals faster than one or two good players, wasn't he? But faster than Messi, faster than Ronaldo.
Yeah.
The Managers with Mick and Tony is powered by BOYLE Sports, the home of the early payout. And why is BOYLE Sports the home of the early payout? I hear you ask. Well, with BOYLE Sports, if the team you back goes 2 goals up, you win, job done, you're getting paid out. Singles, ACCAs, bet builders, it's all covered. And this means we need to reconsider a crucial game in your career, Tony. I'm talking, of course, about the 1999 playoff final when your Gillingham team were 2 goals up with 5 minutes to play. Obviously, that means, in the eyes of BOYLE Sports, you have now won the Second Division playoff final, 1999. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And also, West Ham won the 2006 FA Cup final, which is great. And commiserations to Liverpool for not winning the 2005 Champions League. And obviously, now Gillingham have won the 1999 Second Division playoff final. Commiserations to Nicky Weaver and Manchester City. Yes, get paid out as a winner if your team goes 2 goals ahead, even if they win, lose or draw. 90 minutes only. Applies to singles and multiples. 18 plus. T's and C's apply. Back yourself with BOYLE Sports, the home of the early payout. Head to boylesports.com or download the app to find out more.
Anyway, going back to that season, 2013-14, Spurs lose 4-0 away to Chelsea towards the end of that season. You famously called out the players. I mean, it's famously. You get famous for calling them out. But you question their mentality.
Yeah.
How do you look back on that now?
Well,
exactly the same?
Yeah, that's how I felt at the time. I always wear my heart on the sleeve, and I don't want to play games. I think if I was willing to play games and be an actor, I think I'd still be in the game as a manager.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's a reason. I think you've got to be a good actor to be a manager.
Well, I have to. Can I just come across that? Because we had a fair length of time between us. I don't see either of us being actors because we, did we call a spade a spade? Yes. Did we?
Times have changed. That's what I'm saying. To be a manager now,
yes,
I think you have to play the game.
Oh, well, I agree with that. Yes,
you have to play the game. If you don't play the game, you don't manage up.
And of course, you're young enough, much younger than us, that you could still be managing as well if you want to.
Yeah, but I've got that old school mentality, not necessarily in the way I see the game, which I still see it.
Honesty.
I think it's a very simple game.
Yeah,
it's a very simple game, and the art of management, as you two guys will know very well, is not about formations. Don't win games. It's getting the best out of the individuals to play with what you have, the cards you've been dealt. And that day at Chelsea, I do not feel like they were playing with the determination and the drive and the spirit what that great shirt demanded.
Absolutely.
So I called them out. Would I call them out again? Probably. Did it make a difference to me keeping my job or not? Absolutely not, because I knew what I was there for until Pochettino come. So I just felt that the fans who travelled in their numbers got let down by a capitulation which should never have happened of top players. Top players shouldn't have that mentality. And I thought it was
But to take it from you, from somebody who's been around, played as many games as you had and done what you've done, I think that they ought to be not insulted by it. They ought to be really thinking, if he's saying that to me.
What reaction did you get? Anybody come and see you Monday?
No, you're joking. I mean, hands up. If I was sitting in the dressing room and the manager was saying that, I would say, you know what, he's got a point.
Yeah.
He's got a point. All of us. I didn't name names, didn't name individuals.
You just... Yeah.
I mean, we see it recently where Unai Emery's calling the Villa players lazy.
Yeah.
Now, that's the way he feels. But it's Unai Emery.
I had it in the dressing room.
It's Unai Emery, so he can say what he wants.
Yeah.
Tim Sherwood, who's just stepped in the interim manager at Tottenham, mate, he's got a cheek. Perhaps people might look at, but I don't care if I've got a cheek or not. That's the way I felt. So
I said Billy McNeil had a huge influence on my career. We played down at Southampton, and after the game, we were particularly rubbish and got rolled over. And he went into one about not trying and not caring and not. And I went, oh, excuse me.
Name names.
I said, hold on a minute.
I've done that a couple of times.
Name names.
Yeah.
I said, because I was poor. I really had a bad game. I said, but that could never be levelled at me, that I didn't try. I hadn't got the right mentality. I wasn't at it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I probably wasn't at it. I didn't play very, very well. We got beat. But don't ever accuse me of not trying and not being bothered. And I said, name names. That went down really well. There's a few more heads going. But to do that is in the dressing room. You're looking for trouble, aren't you?
Oh, now you are.
Yeah,
for sure. It won't happen.
Can't
now.
do it now.
No. Like I say, I don't think the game's changed too much. I think that the terminology's changed.
Tim, there's a goal at one end. You've got to get a ball in that end, and there's a goal at the other end. You've got to keep it out. What happens in between? That's the game. And to stay in management, you have to win.
Yeah.
People tell me about this, that, and the other. And the younger managers or people getting in, they'll say, what would you advise us to do? Win games. Yeah. Find a way of your team winning football matches. All this philosophy, we want to play this way, we want to play that way. You look at the players, you look at what you've got, the strengths and the weaknesses, and within that, you've got to find a system that suits that team and helps them win the game. If you don't, you're not going to be a manager.
It's your job to do the best you can with what you got to win football.
You're not going to watch them. You're not going to stay in the game very long.
Repeating this, and that's exactly what it is.
Absolutely. There's no long term about getting the short term right.
Just quickly, what was it like going to Villa? Tell us about
Great
Jack
club.
and the players, the good players that you inherited, or was Jack not in the team then?
Well, he weren't in the team, but I knew him from the youth days. Playing against. I watched him play for their 16s against our 18s once, and.
Come on, I've got to tell you, you talked him out of playing for Ireland, didn't you?
Well, I didn't talk
about
Martin. Martin had a go at me. I remember Martin ringing me up and saying, "Why did you persuade him to South England?"
To be fair, Martin's one of the great managers of he's had a great career.
I said, Mark, I didn't. I said to him, "Whatever you feel in your heart, and he decided. I think he'd already played for the under-21s.
Yeah,
Ireland.
Yeah, but he'd never played in a competitive game. And it's been said to me since, and there's other players done that, where they've played in friendlies. It doesn't count. So you can go and play, and you're playing these friendlies, and then, one of the agents is maybe saying to you, listen, you really ought to be playing for England.
What was he like as a character?
No, it's just a throwback. For me, he was just someone I could relate to, not on the pitch, but off the pitch. So I say to Jack, there's nothing you've done I haven't done. So, I just think it's really important that the penny's got to drop sooner or later, and you've got so much talent, and just try and maximise it and get the best out of it. And
when he's at his best, he is an amazing. Yeah. When he's at his best, he's an amazing player.
Has he fulfilled his potential? Do you think?
Or could he still be going further?
I think he could have played on a more regular basis after. I mean, he's won everything.
Yeah.
So you can't take that away from him. But he is a maverick. He's a throwback. I say to him, the nearest thing I've seen to Paul Gascoigne. Yeah. And Paul Gascoigne used to destroy me. Yeah. You go and play against Patrick and Petit and Roy and when you get close to them, they'll pass the ball. Whereas Gazza used to make you look stupid and want to make you look stupid. Yeah. It was just a bit of fun for him. The audacity what he had, and Jack's got that. And I think he's playing with freedom for Moisey now a little bit more. Pep's obviously fantastic for him because he's one of the best managers we've ever seen, but it's more structure.
Would you play Jack free or keep him wide?
Yeah, he likes coming off that side, but to play free. And also I used to say to him in front of everyone, I say, I want Jack to give the ball away more than any of you have it.
Yeah.
And he used to go, ooh, give him the ball, give him the ball. He's got, I mean, the guy, the bigger the game, the more he come alive.
And how did you see Villa as a club?
Oh, huge club, loved it. Loved the fan base. We had a few good Well, a good seat. We beat you, didn't
Yeah.
we? There was a pitch invasion. I mean, they were starved, weren't they?
Was it quarterfinals?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when the referee went over by the tunnel, blew the whistle and run off, and left us on the pitch with all the supporters coming on.
Well, I would have been down the tunnel. Why are all these managers on the pitch anymore?
Yeah.
Do you understand all that? I don't understand that. Ain't nothing to do with you. Get down the tunnel. All this waving and like and all this like, oi. Get down the tunnel because you soon down the tunnel when you lose.
I'm going to say it's easy when you're winning. I tell you, it's easy, isn't it? You go across
I've always been one of it's the supporters and the players.
Yeah.
That's what the game's about.
I remember saying to the owner at the beginning of the season,
who was the owner then?
Randy Lerner. We had a big turnover of players, and
from Martin's time, wasn't it?
No, from the season where I went in and we stayed in the league, went to the cup final. So I thought, I'm never going to be as strong as that.
Yeah,
because the team was, and then Christian Benteke left. It was all our goals. Fabian Delph, Tom Cleverley, Ron Vlaar. I mean, it's your spine. I use that analogy. They bring in all these French boys into the club, and some of them turned out to be good players, but they're not ready. They don't know the Premier League. And they were trying to put decorations on a tree we actually ain't got. So I remember him saying, well, you've did it before with young players at Tottenham, you can do it here. I said, a little bit different, because I knew them since they were very young age coming through and in the mentality. And some of them turned out to be...
coming from abroad have got no idea what the Premier League's like.
And it takes some time, doesn't it?
Yeah. And just settling in. Yeah. Just moving the country, settling in. Yeah, absolutely.
So it was difficult, and I was just too honest.
Yeah.
I remember beginning of that season just saying to him, like, what do you think? He said, I'm excited about the prospect, and I just said, look, I just feel like we might struggle with this group. If the objective was to stay in the league, if you would have kept me, everyone, I would have kept you in the league.
Yeah.
With the group and not brought anyone else in. Yeah. But they wanted to go different direction.
That's a correct quote. That,
and brought and it really, the rug was pulled from under your feet. And I think a good indication of not to prove you right, but they had 3 managers after me that season.
Yeah.
And still got relegated.
See,
I had 8 games.
I think, Tim, that if you're talking about, and we're talking about our period in football, if you're talking about now and coaches going in, I keep saying it, if I'm a young coach going into a club now, I'd want someone above me rather than someone who's working on the pitch. Mm-hmm. I'd rather do the work on the pitch. Where you got to be protected is above you now. There's so many people between you and the chairman that you need someone to come in and be your man. He stays with you. If you get the sack, he goes as well. Yeah. So he's fighting tooth and nail about all the noise that goes on. And there's loads of noise. You lose a game, people have all got opinions. They all think they can do it better than you. They all think they know the answers. You've got someone there who goes, hey, hold on a minute. They've lost a couple of games, but he's going in the right direction. And I don't think it's there, but we need it. You've got sporting directors now who are at football clubs and stay at football clubs. The manager might change 3 or 4 times, yet that sporting director has brought the players in that's made the team struggle. Yeah. Nobody questions. It's always the coach. Yeah. And they've always got that, well, they're good players, it's just the coach, he's not coaching them properly. Yeah, yeah. And I don't think that I would want to bring another... I'll say I don't think. I know if I went in again, I'd want someone there fighting my corner above me, not below me.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. Tim? No, I think you're spot on.
What do you think then? When because you do the punditry, of course. And I'm more inclined to listen to somebody with an opinion if he's being a manager. Certainly talking about teams, setting up teams. I know all the players are in the dressing room listening to managers. Yeah. But I say, as a player, I doubt you every single game you're listening to every tactic he's talking about, and you're thinking sometimes you're in the dressing room thinking, let me out of here. But as listening to some of them talk about it who've never done it, does irk me.
Yeah, and it
annoys me.
I feel that, and it's just that.
Because they've never had.
Never been in the arena.
They've never been in the arena. They've never had the you're dealing with the players, you're dealing with the chairman, you're dealing with that, and they have such simple views on how it can be dealt with, and it's not like that.
No,
they've always got the answers after.
Yeah.
Hindsight's never been divorced.
No. Yeah. And it'll continue that way.
And we can all be experts, can't we? You know, after the event. We're talking about.
So you're enjoying
Arsenal.
doing what you're doing there on the TV?
I enjoy it.
Would you ever fancy it again? Imagine.
Yeah, I would never say never, but I would. It would need to be, and I hate this term. You're right opportunity.
Yeah.
Villa was the right opportunity, and it turned out it wasn't in the end. You know, so and I loved the experience, and I wouldn't change it for the world. But I would have another go. Yeah, of course I would.
Yeah, good.
But if you asked me to pick my dream job, it would be to do the development of the younger players again.
That's one thing that's come over, Tim, in this us talking now.
Would you never try to get back into it then, into the development?
Yeah,
would you fancy that? Would you fancy that 7 days a week again, doing the coaching?
Yeah.
Because it is.
Yeah.
Especially with the kids.
As long as they got an opportunity to get into the first team, which is success. Success is not winning under 18 games or under 21 games.
Or reserve teams.
It's stepping one into the first team, and in being a first team player, I used to get so much pride out of them boys.
Sounds like a dinosaur, Mick. He could join us, couldn't he?
I watch games now.
A Timosaurus. There you go. He's a Tonosaurus. I'm not going to say what I am. I've been called lots of things.
No, of course, I think that you're not judged on results. You're judged on, but you're not even judged. I want to be judged, but I want to be judged on how I push the players forward to the first team. I think so many people in that position now are not judged at all because they just say, you know what, Gaffer, you're right, they're not good enough. And then they're blaming the academy, the recruitment of the academy players. Now, I always say, if a team down the road can produce so many players into their first team, why are you missing out on them players?
Have you heard where there's some clubs, the kids don't even get to watch the first team training? So they train behind closed, mesh. And they train there all the time, so there's no even relationship with them, and that helped certainly as a young player when I knew I could talk to the first team. I could go and watch the first team. I'd train with the first team, train against the first team.
Yeah. I did a session once.
It's a different identity now, isn't it? They're over there. They're over
with
there.
them kids. I did a session, a midfield session about checking your shoulder, getting turned on the ball, and I asked Luka Modric to come and take that session for me.
Oh wow!
Right, just to I showed him exactly what I'm looking for, and he was the absolute master at it. But he asked me afterwards, can I do it again? I'll come do it. He loved it. He loved the fact that he was giving something back to them young kids, and there was no one better than him.
What a great lad he is as well.
Yeah, but I just felt, rather than me do it, let me show Luca. So I had a word with Luca. He come across, and he was so welcoming to the boys. They were asking him questions, and he just said, you know what, it's hard, but you need to check both shoulders. You need to receive the ball like that. If there's enough pace on the ball, you let it run. Little detail what he was giving them, priceless. Can't learn that on a coaching badge.
No.
Can't learn that. He's the best.
If I get a club, I'm going to employ you to look after my youth team. Mate.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You're in.
All day.
All right.
I'm not sure I'll last too long.
He's thinking about Tim. What he hasn't told you, he's thinking of going to China.
I do. You got
Saudi. I said how I hate my old China this morning. Tony, time for our predictions today, pal. Scores are currently 22-18, but I'm clutching at straws as always. I've got a game in hand, the Blackburn versus Ipswich game. Anyway, Chelsea to beat Wolves. Chelsea have lost 1 in 5. They beat Spurs away and played, I thought, very, very well at the weekend. Chelsea are in Europe on Wednesday, but I can't see that that's going to upset them too much. Unless Wolves get the new manager bounced back, of course. We'll wait and see. Chelsea to beat Wolves. My next one, Hull to beat Portsmouth. Hull are unbeaten in 6. They've won 4, drawn 2. Portsmouth lost the last 3 games. Hull seem to be getting it together. So I'm going for Hull to beat Portsmouth. Chesterfield to beat Accrington. Chesterfield, unbeaten in 5. They're a good run. 1-3, drawn 2. They beat Stevenage away at the weekend in the FA Cup. So Chesterfield to beat Accrington. And the last, but no means least, of course, Celtic to beat Kilmarnock. Martin Hill's gone back in. Brendan has done a great job, but he's left, and Martin's gone in 1-2. Won in the league. They slapped Falkirk 4-0 and then beat Rangers in the semi-final. So Martin's gone back in. He's got it going again. And they'll have too much, I think, for Kilmarnock. So there are my predictions. I'm pleased to see that Hearts have been allowed to come back in, Tony, seeing as they're flying and you've managed to get them. And there are my predictions. £10 returns, £49.20, including the ACCA boost from BOYLE Sports.
Time for my predictions for next weekend. I've got Forest to beat Leeds. I think Leeds away form is not brilliant. Forest under Daichi now have picked up. And I just think they'll have too much for Leeds, especially with the atmosphere and everything that's going on at Forest at the moment. The crowd are really behind them. So I think a really, really tough game for Leeds. I'm going Arsenal at Sunderland. At the moment, Arsenal look unstoppable. Sunderland have had a fantastic start, and it's going to be a real, real tough game for Arsenal. But the quality they've got and the ammunition they've got, they're keeping clean sheets. They're looking like they're going to score in free play. And everybody's talked about the set plays. So I just think they'll have too much for Sunderland, although it might be closer than what people think. My third choice is Bradford. They've got a home tie against Burton. Burton play midweek, so it'll be their third game in a week, and that's really difficult at times. And Bradford home record is good. So I really, really fancy that one. I think Bradford will win that game. And my last choice, and I've picked this just to annoy Mick McCarthy as much as I possibly can. Last week he picked Hearts and the boys wouldn't let him have it. So this week I'm going to pick Hearts, and surprise, surprise, the boys have let me have it. I think it's because I'm older than Mick and a little bit maybe wiser. So there we are. There's my 4 picks for the weekend. £10 returns £64.76p. including ACCA boost from BOYLE Sports.
Well, Tone, I've enjoyed the chat with Tim.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Pleasure, guys. Great. Thanks for having me.
And enlightening, by the way, and certain things. So thanks for coming in. We'd be delighted to have you.
Pleasure.
Top man. Well done, Tim.